coming out of the county, I already knew I was in trouble because every Crip in Fort Worth, I felt like knew me. Like we was really getting into it.
All right, let's do it like this. Once you're about to fight this case, you gotta. I'm sure you got a what they call it, the paid attorney, or you got a public defender, or whatever.
Paid attorney. My dad was a construction worker. I had to work, but I got my first attorney was Charles Roach.
Okay.
And I remember him. He told me right then I was in trouble. I was hoping to get a little probation and get up out of there. That wasn't the case.
He said he's letting you know, like, this ain't.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get no probation.
Damn.
And then, I was already confirmed gang member in the city, so at a young age, you know what I mean? They were bothering me daily. The task force would just ride, because I had that reputation. Truth be told, that reputation was real. Like I was really slinging that iron.
Mentally, were you prepared to do prison time?
No, actually, when I went to the penitentiary, my uncles and everybody told me, son, don't go down there as no blood, or don't go down there as no gang member. Oh, so I'm young and I'm lost at the same time, but we end up coming out of the county. I already knew I was in trouble because every Crip in Fort Worth, I felt like knew me, like we was really getting into it. And when I left the county, went to my first unit, and I had to go through Gurney. And that's when I was approached by, I was approached by racism for the first time in my life. I don't know that. I ain't never been racist like that. I turned racist while I was there, but it wasn't against nobody but my own kind, because I was done so bad by my own kind. And I'm not really talking about the inmates. I'm talking about the guards, the white ones that had power over you. You understand?
Yeah, you say that was the first time you experienced racism. Please, if you can, break down what that experience was.
You mean like, when I went to, when you get to penitentiary, when you get to a transfer facility, they go to calling out, names. You're sitting in a little cage. They're shaving all your hair off, Gurney. If people been there before, they know. They shave all your hair off. They kind of, makes you, they don't give you a fade by far. They, and you're bald headed, like in the military.
You can't ask for.
No, ain't none of that. Yeah. You ain't asking for nothing. And once you get set back down, then they waiting on you. They got a thing called classification. And the GI is walking through. He's looking for Red Dawg. At that time, everybody called me Bully for Cooley, but Bully, right?
Yeah.
And he's looking for me. And I haven't admitted that I'm there yet. I'm still, we're watching everything. You got to understand, 17 years young, man, I'm in a whole nother environment now. So I'm watching everything go on, but finally he contacts with me. He couldn't believe I was white. That's the thing about this whole situation. No one believes that it's a such thing as the real deal, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so he's seen you on paper.
Right, I was on paper. When you leave the county, you got a travel card that follows you all through prison.
Yeah.
And it said blood. At that time, he thought it was a mistake when it said white. The W by his name, white. So he's confused. The gang, he come in there and talked to me. He told me, he said, man, where you're at right now, you're in a big place, And I ain't gonna lie, if I sat here and told y'all I wasn't nervous, I'd be telling a lie. I was very nervous, but at the same time, I wasn't gonna show no fear,
Yeah, you how tall are you? How much you weigh at this time?
At the time, I was about a little under 6 foot, 150.
Yeah.
I wished I had that back, that weight. But again, once they find out who you are, they take you to the gang, and then you go to classification. So the whole time before I even kicked it off and started, going through my time, you wait on your ID to be made. They make that and they bring it back to you. And it was just, it was a...
They call it butt naked Gurney.
Yeah, they do. And that's funny, that's what they call it. It's because they get you naked everywhere you go. You can't go nowhere without, on the bowling alley, down the run, you get naked there. So I I was told, I talked to a few people from Fort Worth at the time, and they're like, man, homie, even a few Crips I knew that were there, K-Love, he was there, Crip T was there, and they known out in the street, so they're like, damn, homie, you're in here, and it's gonna be hard. But listen, I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't expecting what was coming my way, but the thing is, I got with the white boys immediately. That's what everybody does. They're all talking, and I'm kind of just listening and going with the flow. And they're telling me, this and that, and this and that. And they calling black folks all types of racist things. So by me just being in their presence, it was bothering me. So I knew that this wasn't where I had to be. And it wasn't at the time because of the gangbanging. It was at the time because of the racism. You understand what I'm saying? They were so racist in prison, especially them white boys, but they wasn't racist in the open. Like they wasn't gonna sit out there and say, "Hey, they wasn't directing. They put no license plate on it. They were gonna in our groups when we over here talking. We're the wood pile. We're supposed to be woods in the pile, and here they couldn't stop using the racist slurs. So anyway, I decided to make my decision right then and there. I talked to one of my partners in the hallway. And I was like, look, man, I know this ain't nobody gonna expect this, but we're gonna do what I've been doing. And we're gonna stand firm with it. And right then was a whole different ball game.
Could I ask you, you being with the white guys,
right,
and them talking about the blacks, what were their thoughts on just the whole process of Bloods versus Crips?
Well, being around the white boys with them talking, I would rather go against all odds and lose my life before I become racist. You understand where I'm at?
Yeah.
Like I was willing to die for that. I was already willing to die for this Piru. Yeah. I mean, I didn't think I was coming home, to be honest with you. I knew what I was going into. Once I realized it, once everything come together, I realized it. I realized that this is gonna be a fight. This is gonna be a real fight. And that's why the time they gave me, I had to do it all because I wasn't gonna take no disrespect. I had certain people tell me I couldn't chunk up Piru in the hallway. And they're Pirus. They wasn't accepting that. But guess what? Bring your ass out here and let's do what we gotta do. But you're gonna respect me before I leave here. And that's basically what happened. And again, I'm not cocky, man. Nowadays, I'm happy and humble. But then I was cocky and I was gonna get it in. Win, lose, or draw. Many fights, I wouldn't even, listen to me, when I first got to the penitentiary, my hands wasn't all that. I couldn't fight like that. I wasn't just no gorilla like that. But over time, Tyrone Cotton, Dallas, Vincent Webb, they put me on them pads, a daily routine, pop, 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 punching them pads. And before you knew it, I could fight. Fight a lot better than
Do you remember your first fight?
I do. I remember the name of them. I remember the first fight. My first fight was with a white boy named Cassio. And I never forget it because he was wearing a watch that said Cassio. And that's what's always, but this was a big old swole white boy. And we were playing handball on Telford unit in the dorms. And again, it was a trauma center. It was gang banging, that they were getting it in.
Yeah.
So I'm hitting this handball, playing. And he bumped into me. And I'm used to saying to, my partner, what's up, bitch? That was a turn, wasn't in a negative way, right?
Yeah.
Well, he bumped into me and he said, bitch, move. And hell, I didn't take that but I'm in prison. That's a whole different story now, ain't no bitches there, so I get done playing the game, but everybody looking at me with a sour face, man. Everybody looking at me sour. Like, oh shit. I'm like, what's up, homie? Oh man, like, what do you mean? I remember 10K from Dallas right here, 10K. Crip dude too, he's like, homie, ain't do it like that. I'm like, what are we talking about? I go back in the dorm, I'm washing my hands. He's standing behind me like, you gotta go fix that. I said, okay, what are we talking about? I'm still young, but I'm fighting, I'm playing on them pads. I'm getting my better, but I didn't think about what he's talking about. He's like, man, we gotta fix this now. So I remember to this day exactly how it went down. I went to the rec yard. Rec yard's kind of set up like a diamond out there, like this. So you come into these two dorms like this, and in the rec yard out in the middle, handball court and all that. And white boys, they posted up. Well, and this white boy's a swole. This white boy ain't little bitty. He's older than me too.
Cassio, just name.
I'm looking. I said, man, when I go, I'm gonna knock this white boy out. I walked by him. I got so nervous when I got by him, homie. I was young. I just kept going. I walked by him again. That third time I walked by him, it was time to go in on the rickyard, and I had to redeem myself right now. So right then and there, it went down. Make a long story short, me and him started tussling, and it was a big fight. But he had nothing, and that's when I realized that all that pad I was hitting on and all that movement, it really works. See, when you're doing that, and the pads don't hit back, you understand? You out there squabbling with them, hitting pads left, whatever. But when you actually in the combat mode, I didn't have my pistol. I had to get it in. And right then I realized that, hey, this ain't that bad. After you get hit a few times, you realize, oh yeah, I'm good. When you punch shy, you're young, you get hit, you're nervous. But once they hit you a few times and you realize, oh shit, I can do this.
Oh, you can take them. He said, I can take them.
Right then and there, I realized, it's going down. And from that day on, my name started building.